Welcome to the Aftermath show for Southampton 1, Leicester 4. I nearly forgot the scoreline then. It's not like I missed 2 goals or anything being late to the game, but we can all have fun when we've won the game, haven't we? Get your comments in, get your views in. Leicester have beaten relegated Southampton 4-1. So yeah, like I said, get your views in, get your comments in. It was a good game. Like I said, couldn't tell you how the first 2 goals went in because I missed the bastards. But yeah, Chris, welcome. Is there a link? Yes, we will put a link out there if anybody wants to join. I'm guessing a lot of people will want to put their views out there after the game. Matthew, morning. Maz, morning. And Andy says, Jamie hungover again. He's just taking a break, I guess. I'm just covering for him. Stephen, welcome. Hope you're all okay. Neil, appreciate you coming in again. Chris, again, morning. Grace says, good morning, really. Don't we just love away days at St Mary's? Don't we just? Especially Friday nights when we absolutely slam them. And welcome. And Jonathan, morning as well. We'll get the intro rolling and then we'll get straight back into the video. Morning. So yeah, obviously make sure you follow us on all socials down below, as you can see here. Get your views, get your comments, and smash the like button for us, please, if you can. And yeah, we'll get straight into the comments before we do bring the first guest on. Gray, welcome. What's your kind of thoughts on the game? Because obviously, like Ash said, it was a weird first 30 minutes for both teams. Couldn't tell you, mate. I only got there 25 minutes into the game, so might have been good to see. I did look at the highlights, and it was 2 good goals we scored. But like say, it was gonna be a weird game because I didn't think we were gonna be goal scoring straight away. But it is what it is because I don't think Southampton were that great. If I'm totally honest, no, I'm not. That's not us. That's not me slating Leicester. I just don't think Southampton were that great. I guess. I don't think they're a team that looks like they just got relegated. I think that obviously, yes, they've lost Ward-Prowse, they've lost Lavia. They've lost a lot of players that probably could mean that they're not going to be the greatest team this year. But you wouldn't have thought they'd drop down that much, in my opinion. Andy says, what is your opinion on the secretary? I'm going to abort from saying that word because I'm not going to be able to read that. Secrecy about Tom Cannon, I'm guessing. I don't know. We've heard about 6 weeks, haven't we? And obviously he wasn't injured when we bought him. So is it something to do with Seagrave? I don't know, but it just seems very odd, doesn't it? Very, very odd. What Friday night, says Carlos? Yes. Aggie says, expected a tougher game, to be honest. I agree. When I was on the way on the coach, I said that it's probably going to be one of the toughest games this season. I honestly thought it was going to be one of the toughest games this season. Obviously, Norwich is coming up as well, and that's going to be a massive and hard game. But Southampton really looked off the ball today in that game. I don't think they were. Chris said we pressed better than they did. Again, that was one thing I did like compared to the whole game because I don't think we did it enough at the whole. Whereas this game, we didn't stop and we were quicker on the ball, in my opinion. Anyway, Gray says they have conceded 9 goals in 2 games, relegated form. Well, we can say that, but then did Norwich did Preston win in the end? I can't remember if I'm right in saying that, but they did concede. But I'm pretty sure Preston still stayed top of the league as of now. Joe says, has Jamie cheered up this week, or is he still complaining? Me or Jamie? Because I'm not complaining about this week. It was an actually all right win. And then Gray says Southampton was always going to be a benchmark game, I think. Yeah, then again, you'd expect to be beating a team like Rotherham 4-1 than a Southampton 4-1. But then again, would you say it's a better performance now than before? I don't know, but it's a mix and match because I would have preferred us to see the level we are now against Southampton, or was it on Southampton? Was the Southampton game more of a they weren't great and we were just better? I don't know. I'm not going to say we weren't great because we did do well, but it's like on. I think the test will be against Norwich when a team who's scoring goals for fun at the moment is going to be up against us. So we don't know. We will bring the first guest in wants to take this comment off the screen. Locks will bring you in first. Morning, mate. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Tired, but yeah, good.
Good.
What's your kind of take on this game? Because I know everyone's been giving you a lot of criticism for different style of play and how we've been playing, and it's not been great apparently. What's your kind of take on last night? Not last night, the night before, because in my opinion, obviously, I don't think we were amazing, but then again, Southampton weren't amazing either. That's why we did score quite a few goals.
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, you are right. I've been getting stick for not overreacting to the loss against Hull, which is a bit crazy. But yeah, anyway, that's another story for another day. Yeah, it's look, to be fair, I actually expected us to do quite well against Southampton because if you remember back to pre-season, when we played Liverpool, I know we got smashed in the end, we got hammered, but that first 25 minutes or so with us playing on the counter a little bit more, we actually played really well. And definitely 100% that's why Vardy started, because of the opportunities that we were going to have on the counter. We played Vardy because of that. So yeah, I expected us to do quite well because we would, when we had the ball, we would play like we have been the whole season, kind of the slow, patient build up, looking for chances, looking for opportunities to break through. But then when they have the ball, we were going to hit them on the counter, and it worked many times. Obviously, the Mavadidi two chances. Obviously, one of them was a goal. The one before, I couldn't believe it, mate. I could not believe it when.
We'll move on to him now so we can talk about him. I'm going to find him to make sure we can get his picture on, and I'm just looking now, and his picture's not there, so we'll add it now. Yeah, Mavadidi. For me, as much as he scored one and he missed one, you just pass them both, don't you? You pass them both just to make sure they go in.
Well, I think the first one you definitely pass. The second one, like if the first one never happened, I think the second one he's right not to pass because it's Dewsbury Hall next to it. With the Vardy one, it's Jamie Vardy, mate. Like Jamie Vardy is right there. It's an open goal for him. You have to play him in. With the other one, I think it's Dewsbury Hall. Obviously, I think it's a different situation. Obviously, I get why I never passed that, but yeah, after not passing the first time and him missing or him not scoring, I thought like fair play to him. Like he's got the balls, right? As Troy Deeney says, the cojones to not pass and to take another shot, and fair play to him, put it away. But I couldn't believe it, mate. When he's 1-on-1, I thought, what is he gonna do here? And then he placed it into the corner. So yeah, fair play. You can't complain. Obviously, he scored, but I see what Gray said. Mavadidi is hungry for goals. Vardy said he wouldn't have passed. Yeah, I think Vardy probably would have passed, to be honest, because Vardy is quite selfless. But I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing that he's like that, mate, because we've had wingers before who are a bit scared of going at goal. So I'm happy that we've got one now who knows who can take men on, but also isn't scared to take a shot on goal. I do rate it.
Yeah, I agree. As much as I'm a fan of Mavadidi and I like the threat he does bring, I do think he needs to be a bit less, not the word selfish, but I don't know, because I want a player to be selfish to try and score goals, but in them position, I think different. I said at the end of the game, different mindset. If you were 2-1 up, you probably would have passed it to make sure. But because you're 3-1 up, basically cruising to get the fourth, you might as well take the punt. But
yeah, but Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think he's as selfish as some people do think. Because, for example, if you look at maybe the Ndidi goal, for example, when he knocked it past his man, Mavididi, he could have taken a shot there. He could have, but he didn't. He saw Ndidi and he passed it through. I just think when he believes he is in a good goal scoring position, he will take it, and he did. So obviously in previous games, like against Hull, I think there was one or two where he took a shot and it was a bit of a weak shot, but he thought he could score and he went for it. So fair play. I'm not going to slate him for that, to be honest with you, because I think he's shown already that he's got a good enough hit on him to put them away. So I'm not too concerned about that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, we'll bring Chris in for the next topic point. Morning, Chris. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. We'll talk about this man because we didn't really expect him to be starting, and he played in that kind of phase role, didn't he? In that centre back role. What did your kind of take on it? Because we've not seen much of him, and now he's come in, and I think the amount of times I saw him come in and get a tackle in was actually brilliant. So does he now take Faze's spot? I guess. What's your kind of take on him?
Yeah, I mean, JJ is a cracking defender. We all know that. We're always devastated when he gets injured, because he's an absolute cracker. So yeah, no. When I saw him back on the team sheet, I was going to say score sheet. Then I was like, it's not score sheet, team sheet. But yeah, no. When I saw him, it was just like that's brilliant, because what I love about JJ is the fact that he's never afraid to go forward. He's always there, waiting on the wings to get forward. And he sets up a lot of really decent things, and yeah, and when we need him at the back, he's there. You know, he's always there. So yeah, definitely needs to stay there as long as he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, see, Locks, would you say that he's maybe a better suited for the position that Faze is in? Maybe because obviously they're free at the back, a bit more pace on him. Yes, he might not be as tall, but do you think he'd suit the third centre back role more than Faze in a way?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously Faze was clearly, it was because of the international break. I think he played a couple of games for Belgium, so he was. I don't know if he was rested. Faze has been really good this season, so I think I'm surprised. I'd be very, very surprised if it wasn't because of the international break, but. I think if I think the most likely thing now is maybe JJ to come in for Doyle, if I'm honest. James Justin has played in that left centre-back role under Rodgers before. I'm 99% sure. So he can play there. The reason I say that, I'm not advocating for Doyle to be dropped. I'm just saying out of the three, Fast, Vestergaard and Doyle has been the most shaky at the back. So if you're going to bring JJ in next week for anyone, look, we won the game. So sure, you'd think maybe actually we can't change a winning side. So maybe it stays exactly the same. However,
it sounds like
exactly. However, if James Justin is going to start, I would say for Doyle. But then, I think the tough one then is, Doyle, you want to try and get him to play through it and get a bit more confident as well. So it's really tough, to be honest with you. Who would have thought this time last year that we'd now be wondering, we'd be worried, we'd have headaches really with centre back selection. But I think at the minute I would probably in the next game stick with Doyle, Fass, Vestergaard. Even Cody can't get in at the minute, and it's mad that we're saying that because last year, I mean, Vestergaard's had a massive turnaround, but he's not done anything wrong, and he's been good. So we can't just get rid of him. So yeah.
Well, you know my take on Vestergaard. Mate, I've never been bad about him. I think people jumped on it as like a scapegoat for when things happen badly, like maybe scored late on or.
I'm sorry, though. He gave us that reason though, because this is why I say in the Premier League he was our worst defender by far.
But we have to admit when we're wrong sometimes. I'm not saying we were wrong about. I'm not saying we were wrong last year. Obviously, we were right last year about him. But you've got to. I mean, remember when Iheanacho, right? I mean, I think he signed in 2017. He did absolutely nothing until that year. We were fighting for fourth place, and Vardy got injured, and he came in and he scored about. I don't know. It was crazy. He was scoring every game. And then we said, okay, fair enough. He's showing what he can actually do, and he deserves a spot in the team. It's the same thing with Vestergaard. Yes, it's probably because of the drop down in league. Admittedly, it's a different level. It's a lower level of football, but you can only, we're in this league now. And so for the next 8 months or whatever it is, he's good enough. And I think he's shown he's good enough to play in this league. So I don't see what the problem is. I think he should play. But yeah, you're right. It is proper scapegoating. It was a Jose Perez at one point. Obviously Vestergaard now. Can't remember who it was last year. Probably, I think Dewsbury Hall got scapegoated a lot as well last year. But yeah, it's just what happens in the Leicester fan base, unfortunately. But I think the opinion of him is slowly but surely changing fan base wide. I think people are running out of things to moan about with him because he's not doing anything wrong. I think a 40-yard shot, a 40-yard goal could go in, right? And people would say, "Wow, Vestergaard should have closed that down." It's like,
I think for me, the only thing that I would say he needs to improve on is when the ball's in the air, you just jump. You don't just go. You have to jump for the ball, even though you're 6 foot, whatever you are. You have to jump for the ball, and he doesn't do it. So that's one thing I would say he has to improve on. But then again, he probably expects to win it either way. We will move on now to another player. Obviously, he's had a bit of a criticism the last few weeks, and I still think he deserves it in a way because I think he needs to be dropped. It's Dewsbury Hall. I don't think he's been great again. I think he's trying too hard again. Yes, he got an assist, didn't he, for the McAteer goal, but what is your take on him? Because at the moment, I do think he needs a drop. Maybe someone like Cassidy, just to show him maybe how it's done, and then bring him back in to try and improve his game, I guess. But in my opinion, I don't think he deserves to be in a team versus Norwich.
No, I agreed last week, but 2 weeks ago. No, I think that's harsh after Friday. I think he was quite good on Friday, mate. I think that was very harsh.
He was definitely pushing forward, which is what we expect of him. Because even when, as you say, when Mavididi scored that goal, he was there.
I guess.
Pushing forward. So, in terms of as a sort of forwarding midfielder, that's what we expect of him, to be up front, and he was doing that. Yes, he probably needs to work on his defensive skills a bit more this time, but going forward again, I've got no complaints.
Maybe, like I said, because I was at the game and I was looking at a few things differently. I think maybe it's because players weren't helping him out as much when he has the ball and he needs a bit of help with the service, or he needs someone up to help him when he's under pressure with 2 other defenders near him. But again, I think he just loses the ball a bit too much at times. Don't get me wrong, he does well when he goes forward, but I think he does lose out when it comes to more of the defensive side, like you say, Chris. So, but then again, that's not his game anymore, is it? He is an attacking mid. So maybe he isn't going to be in that position now. What we used to him being there.
I think he was a lot better. I mean, yeah, you're right. From after the Coventry game, so game week 2 to game week 5, which was Hull, he was not good enough at all. And Enzo obviously played him through it. Enzo clearly thinks, in terms of, like somebody's put in the comments, an engine really, probably the biggest runner, gets the most miles on the clock in the midfield. So that's why he plays him. But I think he was better. He was a lot better on Friday night. And I don't know if you noticed, a lot less shots. Obviously, he's been taking quite a lot of shots all season. Apart from the Coventry game, he's not put any away. A lot of them not even testing the keeper. So it looks like he's reined that in a little bit. Which is good. So that's clearly something that Enzo's told him to do. So I think it would be harsh to drop him after Friday. If you were going to drop him, it was earlier. But now after Friday, I think you keep him in there and see what happens.
Yeah, I will let you two have your say now quickly about any players that you think you would come in to this next game in Norwich. Obviously, Fatu's been impressive, I guess, the last 2 games he's come on. Cody obviously back fit now. Does he get back into the team? And does anyone else now, in your eyes, maybe get a spot going into the Norwich game? Like say JJ. Anyone else you think that might come into the fold? Chris, you go first.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would say drop Doyle because I really didn't think he had a great game on Friday. We saw the mistake he made, and I'm sorry, I can't even call that schoolboy because that'd be insulting to schoolboys. Seriously, that was a terrible mistake, and certainly not what we would expect from him. So I would definitely bring in Connor Cody in for Doyle, but that would be the only change I would make.
Okay, yeah, Neil. I think Neil agrees with you there. What's your kind of take on Wilf then, Locks? Because in my eyes, it's a hard one because he does. I complain that he's not a forward-thinking guy, but then he goes and scores a good goal versus Southampton. He goes and scores an assist versus Tranmere. Yes, it's only Tranmere, but he does what he does when I moan at him. So, what does he play? Does he get dropped? Does he? I don't know.
This is the perfect example of what I said earlier on about people need to admit when they're wrong. I was wrong because I'll admit it. I was like, Ndidi out, Ndidi out, Ndidi out. Get him out. Cassidy in. He's a top bloody goal scorer, man. He's a top goal scorer. He's scoring goals, right?
Yeah.
Keep him in. I don't think the midfield should be changed one bit at all. I think the three of Winks in obviously the deep. I mean, we all know Winks should stay in the team no matter what. But the midfield of Winks deeper, and then you've got the advanced eights of Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi. I think that should stay exactly the same. He's scoring goals, so that's good enough for me. Yeah. Unlike you, Gray. You don't like to admit when you're wrong. And yeah, mate, I just think at the back, like I said earlier, I would probably say don't change a winning side. However, we know Enzo will. I think if you're going to change anything at the back, yeah, probably James Justin stays in there for Doyle though instead of Fast. Fast comes back in. Again with Cody, it's harsh, but
I've said it. You don't drop if you Vestergaard's been in that team for the last 5-6 games. You don't drop him. You can't.
Oh yeah, no, you don't get rid of Vestergaard. We're not getting no chance. You can't drop Vestergaard. I think James Justin left centre back, Vestergaard centre back, and Fass right centre back. I think that's what I would probably do because James Justin was very good. So
it really hurts me because like this time last season I was saying Vestergaard's like a -10. And it really hurts me to say that actually this year he's been a solid 10.
Oh yeah, he's been brilliant.
Absolute solid 10, and it hurts.
Do we see Kelechi and actually come back in? Because we were shocked to see Vardy in that lineup on Friday night, in my opinion. So do we see Kel come back in for more maybe attacking minded team against us in Norwich? I don't know.
No, because I think Norwich are going to be vulnerable under the counter-attack as well. So I'd keep it quite similar tactically and player-wise. I think Norwich will go for it because Norwich will see us as there for the taking, I think, after other games we've played this season. So, yeah, I think you play with Vardy. And I was really impressed with Vardy because he did a lot of the other stuff really well against Southampton in terms of holding the ball up,
yeah.
Which he doesn't normally do well at all, but he did it well. Little touches here and there. The link-up play was really good. And I think it just sums up the whole team, really, which is why I didn't, again, sorry, Reedy, but I didn't overreact against the whole loss because you could clearly see this is a team still learning, and we were so much more fluid against Southampton.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
That comes over time. You become more fluid, playing with these new players around you.
Oh.
And Vardy is a part of that as well. Vardy's learning also. So I would keep everything the same besides James Justin. Sorry, Fass in for Doyle and James Justin out on the left. That's the only thing I would change.
Yeah, and then last of all, for today's show, it's kind of man of the match / man of the match for the last kind of 6 games, but who is your most impressive player or impactful player this season so far, and obviously in the game on Friday night? I'm going to go first and say Mabadidi. I think the moment you dropped him versus Hull, I think you could just see a completely different team, I guess. Yes, he doesn't do as much defensively, but going forward, I think he just provides you with such a massive threat Locks, what's your kind of take on who's been the best player at the moment for you? Unless you're going to say Winks, but
well, it's Winks. It is Winks. Winks.
Yeah.
Winks is the most vital person in this whole team. In the whole 11, the one person, the one player that we would fall apart if he was injured is Winks, and I promise you that. And people might not agree, but it's true, right?
No, I agree.
And you know, Winks is a 6-7. Winks is a 7 out of 10 every single game, right? And the reason he's not above that is because he's not a headline writer. He sits there and he's just playing passes all game, right? And he's dropping back and he's coming forward when he needs to. So he's always a 7 out of 10. If you're talking about your odd 9, 10 out of 10s here and there, it's got to be Mavididi. But I think as a steady player who is the most vital member of this system, it's Winks, definitely the best player. And yeah, just remember, God, what was it? Probably 2 months ago when Reedy was losing his head that we signed Harry Winks.
No comment. Chris, your take on it? Are you going to say Winks as well, or have you got someone else in mind?
As much as I completely agree that Winks has been the sort of certainly the catalyst that we need, my personal sort of player of the season so far is our top goal scorer, McAteer.
Okay.
I think he's been absolutely brilliant. I've seen when he's pushing forward, he's pushing hard, and I can definitely see a great partnership between him and Vardy, or him and Nacho for that matter. Mm-hmm. So, you know, honestly, I think he's been absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, top goal scorer for a reason.
Yes, fair enough.
Agreed.
Yeah, deserved.
Ian says here, we've not referred our 33 pass 10 player involved in the second goal.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you this again. I wasn't there to see it, so I couldn't know.
It was sexy football, mate. It is sexy football. This is what I'm saying. This is again in the moment, right? So when you've got those, when you've got that situation, that goal that Ian's talking about, where we had 33 passes, 10 players involved, and it led to the second goal. If that goal hadn't have gone in, that would have been the situation where you've got the old dinosaurs. No offense to anyone in the chat. The old dinosaurs in the ground saying, "Oh, this football's terrible. Oh, it's terrible. It's so slow. Nothing's happening." Look, this is what football is like these days. Not every team, but a lot of teams, a lot of managers. This is the way they like to play. They like to play patient, passing football, but it's with intent. It's with intent on scoring at the end of it. It's not it's not us just passing it around to waste time, or not with any intent, not looking for any openings. We are looking for openings, but it doesn't always happen. No comment. It doesn't always happen because that's not how football is. You can't score every game, let alone every half. So when it works, it will work like it did in that goal. We will find the openings. Hull, in my opinion, was just a little blip. If I'm honest, I just think it was a little blip. It's the way we play. It has purpose and it has intent to score at the end. And I think that's exactly what Enzo's plan is, and that's exactly why Enzo came out and said, "This is football, not PlayStation," because you can't score every game. It won't happen. We will have 0-0s and probably a couple more 1-0 losses this season. But at the end of it, it's about, do you win enough games and score enough goals to get promoted? And if you do, who's going to give a damn about losing 1-0 to Hull at the end of the season? No one.
No, I agree. And then finally, before we go, quick score prediction for Norwich. Obviously, I don't think there's going to be many shows until then. Obviously, other than Phil's tomorrow. What's your kind of scoreline going to be for Norwich? Because I'm going to go for like a 4-3 because I could just see there's going to be goals galore, but we are going to win. So, Chris, first, what are you saying for the score prediction?
I think Enzo will get it completely right. And I actually believe, you're going to be surprised now, I actually believe we're going to keep a clean sheet. I'm going to have 3-0.
Christ, against one of the top scorers in the league.
I'm that confident because I've seen Norwich play, and yes, okay, they're on a bit of form at the moment, but forms don't last.
Fair enough. Locks, go on.
Chris, to be fair, has said something that I would normally say, but I'm not going to say it this time. Actually, I'm not going to be that
Well, pubs
confident.
don't last.
Well, no, just about winning, keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah.
We could keep a clean sheet. I don't think we will, though. I think we'll concede one. I'm going to say 3-1. Yeah, I agree with that message on screen. I think we're going to win 3-1. Another game, and look, we're already on our way to HMS Piss the League, lads. So it's going to continue.
Yes.
Mate, trust me.
Dylan, I have seen us play. I can see us keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah, no,
That's
I see it. I can see it happening. I could see it happening. But I just think they might have a little bit too much. There'll just be one. I think there'll just be one moment of a bit of a mistake or dodgy defending from us, which will lead to a goal. But other than that, I think we're going to outscore them. So I think we'll win.
Well, before the Southampton game, we said that this is going to be the test now because we've got 4 or 5 games which on the league table shows that they are going to be tough games, and one of them has already gone past and we beat them. So Norwich, then Preston and Blackburn. There's going to be a few games now where if we can get through this tough stage and get the points to kind of break away from them, then you're already in a better position, can't we? So
Dylan, man, come on. What has he done wrong?
No, I'm sorry.
He hasn't done
anything.
I'm going to put that comment down because he hasn't done anything wrong.
What's going on, Dylan? What's Vestergaard done wrong, mate? You're focusing on the wrong centre-back. Doyle's been the worst centre-back so far this season. Yeah. Why is Vestergaard anyway?
Doyle out, Cody in.
Jesus. Yeah. Norwich are the best team, by the way, this so far. I know you've got your Preston and Ipswich are up there as well, but in terms of the way they play, attacking wise, scoring goals, Norwich have been the best team, I think. So, it's going to be difficult, but I think we'll win, so it's fine.
Yeah, all good. Go on then, Nick. We'll quickly bring you in. Chris, thank you for coming on, and we'll catch you on the next show. See you in a bit, mate. Locks, we'll bring you back in to end the show off.
What is he on about? Sorry, mate. Yeah,
I don't know, mate. Nick, morning, mate. How are you doing?
Morning, bud. You all right?
Yeah, good. What's your kind of quick take on the Southampton game, and then we want the score prediction on the Norwich?
I don't think we've fully clicked yet, but I think we're getting there. And I was saying weeks ago when you were on with Jamie and stuff, saying once we do click, we're going to give somebody a good tonking, and that's what we did on Friday.
Yep.
All these so-called Vestergaard fanboys that have come out of the woodwork, there's nobody asked the question that he's found his level.
Well, maybe, but I've never slated him. I've never slated him, mate. I've never slated him.
I still think he's dropped for Cody when Cody's fit and firing himself.
Maybe not. I don't know. Locks is in the background screaming at you. But
get him on then. Give me his counter argument.
Go on,
mate,
Locks.
I'm not arguing that he's now found his level, but this is our level at the minute, so he has to play because of how he's performing. I don't think you can just. You've got to wait for a moment where it's acceptable to drop Vestergaard.
Right, so I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you a question, right? And you can answer this question as well, reader.
Yeah.
There's a corner coming in to try and win the game or rescue a point, right?
Yeah.
Who would you rather have at the back and bank on them to score, Vestergaard or Coda?
Cody.
Yeah,
but you're talking about one situation in a 90-minute game.
I'm not talking about one situation, but what I'm trying to say is he doesn't offer you a threat from a set piece. He's got all that height, he doesn't use it.
But on the opposite end,
you mentioned Ndidi as well. Myself.
On the opposite end, I'd say if we've got a corner, if the opponents have got a corner last minute, I'd probably bank on Vestergaard getting the ball out than Cody because he's not as tall, and that's just me.
But Cody's more wily, I think. So
maybe again, it's all opinions, and like say, I'm not opposed to someone like Ndidi either, but he is top scorer at the moment for us, I think. So
no, he's not. McAteer is.
Is he? Isn't he on the team?
I think
Casey McAteer's top goal scorer.
I think it's in the league. I think they're tied in all competitions. I think that's.
Okay. Well, either way, he's one of our goal scorers, so I'd probably say you'd probably have to keep him in. But like I say, Dylan says here, Vestergaard tall but loses every 50-50. It's opinions, isn't it?
Did you know though that Vestergaard has besides Suter, Vestergaard actually has won the most aerial duels out of every defender in our in our squad in the last year. And Vestergaard
I don't think he's been tested yet. Has he? Let's be fair. Certainly not this season.
But who
really
will he
hasn't.
be tested against this season? Norwich, probably. That's it. Like
Norwich
and Southampton are on paper.
Preston.
On paper. Yeah.
Preston.
But I'm saying on paper, Norwich.
Leeds.
Yes.
Sunderland.
Yes. But
you got to think Southampton were woeful.
They were. They were
awful on thing. So he's going to look amazing against a woeful team.
Yeah, but you can't make that change until he has been poor, and he's not been poor. He's been good. Vestergaard has been good.
So.
I think, like I said, Nick, I'm not a Vestergaard fanboy. I think it's just about admitting he has actually been quite good.
I've said that if he's played well, you can't drop him. I think Cody only, like, as much as Cody's one of them big names where you'd say he has to be in the team. At the moment, the way we're playing, we've won 5 out of 6. I think you've just got to be like, you can't come in unless Enzo's that blunt and that explosive to be like, well, you're not coming into the team. So. But again,
we know that's Enzo's got that in his locker, though. We know that.
I know he has.
Look at Marcel. He was brilliant against Cardiff, and he was dropped next game.
Yeah, I agree. I get it. So we can always expect a massive change. But Nick, before we finish, scoreline for Norwich, please.
I think it'll be a tight one again. I think we'll win 2-1. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think it'll be 2-1. I reckon. Vardy and Casey McAteer again.
Cheers, mate. Thank you for coming on.
Bud. See you
in a bit. And there you go, Locks. That's how we end the show. Obviously, we've won 5 out of 6. I'm a bit more positive this week, obviously, because we've won. But
it's tough, mate. It is tough being a Leicester fan sometimes.
It's hard. I get it from both sides of both points of view. Again, I don't think against Hull we did do that great. I thought we did struggle at times getting the ball forward because we were a bit too slow with the ball. Whereas against Southampton, we're a lot more faster. We got the ball forward a lot more, and we tried to get to the goal quicker. And that it all depends on who you're playing against. Like I say, Hull did defend well, so it might have been harder for us to score, and we did have the chances to score. So it's here or there. We have different opinions, and we're hopefully by the end of the season, like you say, we won't think of the 1-0 Hull, will we? So
one more thing as well for you, everybody in the chat. Vestergaard also, what I said there about, apart from Suter, the most aerials won. Okay, Vestergaard has the second most aerials won in our team defensively. Also, he is our highest passes attempted and pass completion out of the defenders in our team, right? Yeah. The highest out of all of our defenders. So again, that's another example of why Enzo likes him, Enzo wants him, and Enzo will keep him in, because that is vital to the way we play. The defender's been able to play out, and he has a 93% pass completion rate in the last 365 days, which is why he's picked, and that's why he'll continue to be picked, rightly so. That's it for me.
Agreed. I say agreed. And that's where we'll finish. Appreciate you Locks coming on, and we'll catch you for the championship chat on the Thursday after hopefully a win against Hull. Norwich.
Norwich, yeah. And who do we have on the weekend?
Bristol City.
Okay, nice. Nigel Pearson, welcome him back. But yeah, join me Thursday, 7:00, championship chat, and it'll be a ball after we're 7. What are we now?
7 wins out of 5. 7 wins out of 6. No,
6 wins out of 7.
Yeah, 6 wins out of 7.
Yes. There we go. My last words are HMS Pistoli.
There we go. And that's how we finish, guys. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you all on the next show. See you in a bit, guys.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everard's, Pucka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newbie & Co. Estate Agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.